One of the most important issues facing Pennsylvania is the funding of education. And one of the areas being looked at in particular is the funding of cyber charter schools and its impact on local districts. Legislation in the form of House Bill 759 has been introduced to reform the cyber charter funding formula and make other changes. Let's spend 5 minutes with the author of this legislation, State Representative Mike Reese of the 59th Legislative District in Fayette and Westmoreland counties. Mike, this is your third appointment to the House Education Committee since you joined the General Assembly, and you've made cyber charter school funding reform a priority. What will this bill do for the funding of cyber charter schools?
Well, Ray, in short, it will make it more equitable. Perhaps it's important to understand how cyber schools are funded. Cyber schools are funded based on the cost of the child to be educated in their home school. That cost, less a few deductions, is passed on to the cyber school. When the language was originally created here in Harrisburg to allow for the creation of cyber schools, there were a few deductions allowed. In other words, they recognized that transportation, for example, wasn't something that cyber schools were going to provide. So they allowed for a deduction for that. However, I think that the deductions didn't go far enough. So what my bill would do is it would seek to expand those deductions. For example, in one of the areas, it would look at cafeteria services. We all know that cyber schools are not providing food services, but that dollar amount from the home school that is formulated into the dollars that go to the cyber school includes food services. So my bill would seek to eliminate or create a deduction for food services, library services, health services, and some other things.
Mike, in your district and in a lot of districts, local school districts all over Pennsylvania, there's been literally begging for some type of reform for the cyber charter system. Will this be beneficial for the local school districts?
Absolutely. Again, every school is going to see a 10 to 15% saving based on these new deductions. And one unique part of my language would also encourage competition. I would allow for a 50% deduction of the total cost for a brick and mortar public school to create their own cyber school. I've heard from a lot of parents that they would like their child to go to Mount Pleasant or to Ligonier or some other public school, but they needed some more flexibility. And if they had a cyber-like program, they would participate. Well, what this does is it allows for the school to invest in a cyber program and at least deduct 50% of that cost from the per pupil cost that is sent on to the cybers.
And Mike, as I understand, there's a provision in this bill for extracurricular activities. What's that all about?
That portion is very important. And again, this is a balanced bill. It recognizes, again, that probably most cyber schools don't have a marching band. So the idea of passing on those dollars for extracurricular activities to a cyber school might not be appropriate. So we allow for a deduction there. However, if a cyber student wants to participate in the marching band at their home school, they can't be charged for that service.
This will be a very interesting debate coming up. Good luck with the bill, and we'll follow this as it goes along.
Thank you, Ray.
If you have comments or questions about education funding and reform or any other legislative topic, Representative Reese's contact information will appear on the screen in a few seconds. Thanks for joining us and spending 5 minutes with State Representative Mike Reese.